Good morning, everyone. It's an early morning in Rome, and the day begins at Termini station. The city is just waking up, but already the station is alive with travelers heading in every direction. Before boarding, we thought of grabbing a quick pastry and coffee, which is a classic Italian breakfast to fuel what will be a long but exciting day. Tickets were pre-booked from the Train Italia site, so without any hindrance, we boarded the train. So this is the train which will take us to Pisa. I want to say a few things about the train. Is quite old. The seats are very old. Feels like and has not been changed for a long time. There is no USB. If anybody wants to use computers or laptops or something like that, there is no ports. 6:57 and we have started. Today's journey takes us north, first to Pisa and then to Florence, two of Tuscany's most famous cities. The plan is simple: see as much as possible in just one day, traveling light and keep it budget friendly. The train leaves Rome and soon the city fades into the countryside. Green hills and wide fields appear, with small villages and old houses along the way. Sometimes the tracks run close to the road and just beside a river flows. Some water bodies also I can see, but I don't know what are they. The views keep changing: hills, farms and water. Like picture moving past window, taking us closer to Pisa. Very important to note that to keep your IDs all the time with you. Our ID check happened inside the train. Let's get ready. We are reaching Pisa. The train pulls into Pisa Centrale station. The first part of the journey is done. We're leaving the Pisa Central station and going towards the Tower of Pisa. It's a 12 minutes walk from there though. The wide Arno River can be seen now. So we got off from the bus. The bus comes until this. It doesn't go very nearby to the Tower of Pisa. Today the weather is really good. It's very sunny and not much cold. As I walk more, I can see there are small cafes, souvenir stalls, and lots of people walking towards the tower. Suddenly, between the buildings, I see the first glimpse of white marble shining in the sunlight. And then, just ahead, the Leaning Tower of Pisa comes into view. As I walk closer, the full Piazza del Miracoli opens up in front of me. As like I thought that maybe the tower will be quite tall, but and I can see that it is not that tall. The tower was started in the year 1173 and it was meant to be the bell tower of the cathedral here. But even before the third floor was finished, the ground underneath began to sink and tower started to lean. For nearly 200 years, work stopped and restarted until it was finally completed in the 14th century. The tilt kept getting worse until the modern engineers managed to stabilize it in the 1990s. Beside, the baptistry began in the 12th century. Though I am just seeing the outside now, but it is important for the acoustics inside. Together, these buildings form the Square of Miracles, named for their beauty and harmony. It is no wonder the whole area is listed as the UNESCO World Heritage Site. When others are struggling to take their position, I already took mine like this. After having some Tuscany delicacies like pasta and seafoods and steaks from a nearby restaurant, we will be heading towards the station. A short bus ride and a little walk took us near the station. Now waiting in the Pisa Central station to go to Florence. It costed us €9 and 30 cents. Every hour this train is available. The train was quite good. It was a double decker and lots of seats were available. This is the Florence Santa Maria Novella station. Quite a nice ride we had in this train. We came to Florence now. I think it's double decker, that's why I call it binary. I don't know, that's how I feel. This is just outside of the station. We're gonna take the bus. This is a payment machine where you can pay. Other thing is that I don't think there is need of a payment because it's a tip tap over there, and on board you can actually pay. So if you have a card or a Revolut card or something like that, so you can actually just buy the ticket on board. From a stop nearby to the station, we have got the bus and we are on our way to Basilica di Santa Croce. This basilica is famous as the burial place of many great Italians, including Michelangelo, Galileo, and Machiavelli. The facade has a large round window and a Star of David at the top. A little walk from here will take us to a bus stop where we will be getting the bus, and our next stop will be Santa Maria del Fiora, the Duomo. Maybe the streets and roads of Florence are very small, so they use this kind of small buses for public. Now I finally arrive at the Piazza del Duomo and the view is breathtaking. In front of me rises the Cathedral of Santa Maria del Fiore, the heart of Florence. The facade shines with white, green and pink marble, full of intricate patterns and statues. Construction of the cathedral began in 1296 and took nearly 150 years to complete. At the time, Florence was a very powerful city and the people wanted a church that would reflect their wealth and importance. From the Duomo, we have started walking through the narrow streets of Florence, lined with shops, cafes, and little gelato stands. The path slowly opens up, and soon I arrive at the Piazza del Signoria, the most important squares in the city. Around the square, I see famous statues, a replica of Michelangelo's David right by the entrance, and nearby the Fountain of Neptune, with its giant marble figurine looking over the piazza. The whole place feels like an open-air museum where history and art surround you at every step. Right in front of me stands the Palazzo Vecchio, the old town hall of Florence. Its tall tower rises high above the square and the stone walls give it a look of a fortress. This building was once the center of political power in Florence. From here we continue walking through the busy streets. On the way there is a small gelato shop, and of course we can't resist. With a gelato in hand, we keep walking, enjoying each bite as I make my way through the lively streets filled with locals and tourists, and eventually reach Ponte Vecchio, which is on the top of Arno River. Its arches reflect on the water, and along the bridge itself are rows of little shops, mostly jewelers glittering with gold displays. As the sun is starting to set, we are going to leave the river behind and start walking through the old stone streets of the city. The pavement is smooth from centuries of footsteps, and the buildings on both sides have that classic Tuscan look, warm colored walls with little balconies. As I move closer to the Accademia gallery, I notice how these historic streets now host modern life. Elegant boutiques and high-end brands sit inside centuries-old buildings. Their stylish windows glowing as evening begins. The mix of old and new is everywhere. Renaissance arches and carved stones doorways standing next to sleek fashion displays. It is beautiful to walk, and with the sky turning shades of orange and pink, the whole city feels alive with history and energy as I head toward the museum that holds Michelangelo's David. I step inside the Accademia gallery, and the noise of the busy streets fades away. The air feels calm and cool, and the soft lights guide me through the first rooms. Around me are paintings and sculptures from the Renaissance, but all I can think about is the masterpiece waiting ahead. Before reaching the famous corridor, I pass several smaller galleries filled with beautiful Renaissance art. Marble statues stand quietly along the walls. Then I enter the long corridor, and at the very end, I finally see him, Michelangelo's David. The statue stands tall at over 5 meters, carved from a single block of marble more than 500 years ago. Even from a distance, the details are incredible. The muscles, the veins in his arms, the focused look on his face. Michelangelo created David when he was only in his 20s. As I slowly circle the statue, I have tried to understand how the light catches the smooth marble and brings the figure to life. As I am stepping out of Accademia, my feet feels every one of the nearly 18,000 steps I have walked today. But the mix of art, history and beauty makes every step worth it. I can finally relax on the train to Rome and think back on everything I have seen. Pisa's Leaning Tower, Florence's Duomo and palaces, Michelangelo's David, and so many quiet streets filled with stories. It's been a long day, but one that feels unforgettable.